Hi, and thanks very much for joining me. I'm Dean the Vaping Biker, and today we're going to be looking at the Recurve from Wotofo and Mike Vapes. Let's get stuck into this one, shall we? Come on then! So the 24mm Wotofo and Mike Vapes Recurve is an interesting shape. It's 24mm at its widest point, and that does cinch in a little bit at the waist, as you can see. Now that cap is very, very thick indeed. So what that means is it does reduce the chamber size. So that does help with flavour, as well as getting a nice condensed vapour as well. We've got 6 airflow holes either side, and that does help diffuse the air to get a nice smooth flow of air going into the RDA itself. So not very turbulent, which is fantastic. But before we go into any more details about the RDA, let's just have a quick look at the packaging. Now you can see that Wotofo have changed their logo a little bit, and they've also changed their packaging style. So what we've got going on now is a clear window to show you what's inside the box, which shows you the top cap and the deck itself, which is pretty cool. And then as we go around the box, on the back side of it, you can see that we've got a little bit of information. Now this is obviously going to be a review, or at least a non-EU box, but as you can see on the back there, you've got a little bit of information going on there with regards to the RDA. Now on the side, you've got the scratch and sniff and barcode, and not really a whole lot else until you get around to the other side, which does show that this one is or what material it is. So the metal, the gunmetal, the black, stainless steel, so on and so forth. So when we look at what comes inside the box, obviously you've got the cap. You do have the deck in its own little hole. Now Mike does suggest twisting that deck out of the box because the packaging is quite tough on the O-rings. If you don't, and you just pull the deck out, and I said deck, then just make sure the O-rings are still attached once you've got it out of the packaging. Now elsewhere in the packaging, we do have an extra 810 drip tip. We do have a 510 drip tip adapter as well. Taking apart the packaging, you can see that underneath we've got the normal kind of stuff that we see from Wotofo with regards to these three little plastic bags, if you like, and in there we do have 3 coils. We also have some wicking, and we have the spare screws, and as it comes fitted with the squonk pin, it will also have the regular 510 pin in there as well. One of the things that I like about this is you do have multiple peak insulators, so you've got an insulator on both the squonk pin and on the regular pin as well. Now when it comes to the deck, you've got that U-shaped design that we have seen a similar kind of shape for at the very least with things like the Kylins and all that sort of good stuff, but I can't remember seeing this sort of shape on a dripper, to be honest with you. And now then, those air holes do mean that you've got a nice smooth airflow, non-turbulent airflow going into your deck, which is fantastic, and obviously that's going to envelop the coil nice and easily. And one of the things that I do like about this is the non-turbulent aspect of it. Now another good reason for having the multiple air holes is it means that you can squonk and you can really fill up that juice well, and then when you take your finger off the bottle, it's going to suck that juice back in before it goes out of the air holes. Now if you do drip, that is a slightly different kettle of fish, and I'll mention that a little bit later on in the review. But as far as the deck goes, super easy to build. You can wrap your coils overhand or underhand, it makes no difference, and yeah, it's a dead easy coil placement sort of situation. So let's get into this build then. I'm going to use these MTN Coils again, and I do like these. I'll leave the links down below for MTN Coils for his website, and I don't know if the biker code is still working, but you can try typing in biker to get an extra 15% off. Anyway, let's get this build underway. So that was the up close and build on the Recurve, and I've got to say I am a massive fan of it. I think this is by far and away the best atomizer that Mike Vapes has come out with so far, and I really do enjoy saying that because I'm enjoying using this. I've been using all three colours on different mods, and I've been having squonk mods as well as dripper mods going on, and this is, in my opinion, a squonking atomizer. And the reason I say that, as I mentioned in the up close there, was the fact that because you've got these air holes, it means you can squonk your face off, so you can really kind of get your juice up to the top level of the decks. You know, you can really get that juice in there. Take your finger off the bottle and it will suck any kind of extra juice back in. Now, the problem with this is it's great with squonking, a little bit tougher when it comes to dripping. You do have to be a little bit more careful when you drip, just to make sure you don't oversaturate that deck, because obviously if juice is sitting at those air wells for any period of time, or you purge and you blow that out, then you could have juice come out. However, for a squonking RDA, and I think that this is exactly what it is. This is a squonking RDA, and I think this does a really, really good job. I'm going to have another little toot. I like it. I like it a lot. Now then, one of the things about this, like we've mentioned before, the inside is essentially where the it's not essentially, the inside is where the posts are, and so when you're turning your airflow control, what you're doing is you're putting that airflow control over the outside of the post. That shuts that down, and that does mean that your airflow is then moving. So much like I said with the Aquitas, that airflow does move to the side of a coil. So, and it's a little bit more difficult with this one to place your coil to accept everything, because obviously you've only got the single coil going on in there. So if you move it over to one side a little bit more, so that airflow is central going in from just one side, it will be kind of really on the piss on the other side. So, you know, it doesn't necessarily always hit the center of the coil, although it is fairly close, because you've got that single coil in there. You've kind of, the air is hitting both sides of it if you close it down, and that means that you are getting a fairly reasonable coverage. So yeah, that in itself is not bad at all. You've got that air coming in from both sides, which is making it different to like the Aquitas or a dual coil RDA. So with that in mind, I think this is a strong and solid contender of a very good quality RDA. It feels quality as well. I think it performs as you would hope it would perform. It's super easy to build, and I really like the shape of it. I think I really like the shape of these drip tips as well. I think they're really cool. But no, all in all, for about £25 in the UK, this is a bargain of an RDA. If you're a squonker and you're looking for a little cheap thing to stick on top of your Aspire, or you know, if you're going to go with one of the pulses or something like that, and you just want a cheap and cheerful flavorful restricted lung hit, this could be the puppy for you. Now what I'm going to do, it is quite difficult to see kind of how much air you've got closed off, but I'm going to close it down so I've got I think that's two of the airflow holes open, and let's have a go. Very restricted. Very restricted indeed. Let's open that up a little bit more. So we've got 4 going. Obviously less restriction there. And then finally. So hopefully you heard the different volumes going on that one. Now there is a little bit of a strange thing on here, in as much as you do have a little stop. So you turn the deck and it will stop the RDA from turning anymore, which is great when you want to undo the RDA from your atomizer. But the sort of weird thing is here that it goes past the sort of the post area, so it then starts opening up the holes on the other side, which is just a little bit strange. I don't know why they didn't sort of have the stop on the deck a little bit earlier in that kind of rotational sort of situation thing, a little bit earlier in the rotation. That would have made more sense to me. The other thing, of course, is if you've got good eyesight, you can close your airflow down, so you're opened to a battery's charged, so you're open kind of each of the 6 holes, but only halfway, to give you a little bit more of a restricted airflow. All in all though, I don't think there's a great deal else I can say about this. It's a super simple RDA, super easy to build, like I've said, and I think it's a great little banger for the money. So good job Wotofo, and good job Mike Vapes. I like this a lot. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. If you've liked this review, please make sure you like and subscribe to the video, and share it amongst your friends. Why the hell not? have it larger.